What's up, everybody? It's Icy here. Welcome to Icy Tuesday, and this episode of Icy Tuesday we're going to be going over Arcane. We're going to be going over Arcane in a PvE sense, of course, and I'm going to be showing you guys everything you need to do with Arcane to be successful in World of Warcraft. Unlike Fire, Arcane you can actually is actually really viable with any gear. It's viable. It's comparable to Frost. I still think Frost has a slight advantage, but I definitely would say that they are very comparable and they're both very viable. So with that said, I'm going to start getting into your stats priorities, your gemming and all that stuff. Basically your number one stat is Mastery as Arcane, and to get the best enchant, reforge and all that stuff, you're going to go to askmrrobot.com and then you upload your information. That will tell you exactly what you need to do for that. I'll give you a link in the description for Ask Mr. Robot, so you don't have to worry about that. And next, moving into your talents. The first row, Presence of Mind, that's the only one that's really going to give you a DPS increase. The next three tiers, those don't matter. You can pick whatever one you want because they're all survivability or CC. The next row, this one here, you're either going to take Nether Tempest. If it's a multiple, okay, it's probably easier to say it this way. Only take Living Bomb if there's literally only one target. That's pretty much that's when you would take Living Bomb. If there's even one ad in the whole fight, take Nether Tempest. So Nether Tempest is almost always better. I just don't even switch even if there's one boss. I just always use Nether Tempest. It's very minimal of a difference, and it's just better to always use Nether Tempest. And try and keep Nether Tempest on as many targets as possible while still trying to do your rotation. The final tier, you're going to take Rune of Power. I hate Rune of Power. That's one of the main reasons I don't play Arcane. But Rune of Power is really the only viable option here. And moving into your glyphs. I need to change my glyphs. You want to take Arcane Power, and the other glyph you want to take is Mana Gem, for sure. And where's the last one? There's one more. I think that's it, actually. Yeah, those are the only ones that Arcane Explosion, maybe, but that one I wouldn't even say to take that. It's better to just use Glyph of Evocation. Unless you think you're going to be doing a lot of AoE, I would take Evocation over that. Moving into your rotation, you want to use Mage Armor as your armor because Mastery is your number one stat, and then you want to, of course, use your Arcane Brilliance. Then your next priority, and then I should say this before I go over the rotation. Basically, the whole concept of Arcane is to never fall below 80% mana, because the more mana you have, the more damage you do. And as long as you're staying above 80% mana, you're doing good. This add-on I have circling right here is called Arcanometer. This bar that right here that I'm going over, once that bar empties, that means you're below 80% mana. So basically that's your whole goal with Arcane. So keep that in mind while I go over the rotation. So your number one priority is to make sure you're standing in the Rune of Power. I mean, if you have to move out of the Rune of Power, you can always cast another one. That's one of the main reasons I don't like Arcane, is because you don't have that much mobility, but it's still a very viable spec. So I'm gonna go over it. So all right, that's your number one priority. Number two priority is to keep Nether Tempest on as many targets as you can while still trying to do your rotation. Your next priority after your Nether Tempest and your Rune of Power is to use your Arcane Missile proc if you have two. If you only have one, then you don't need to worry about it. If you have two, though, you want to use one of those. And then your final priority is to use Arcane Blast. If your mana is going to fall below 80% mana, you want to use a Arcane Barrage. That will reset your stacks, and your mana should be going up really fast after that. And the optimal time and before you reset your stacks, if you have any Arcane Missile procs, you want to use them all. So basically, it looks like this. I'm going to do a slow rotation for now so I can show you guys what it looks like. So I'm going to be spamming Arcane Blast. I got another Tempest on target. I'm going to spam Arcane Blast. Okay. I got 4 stacks of Arcane Blast, so my mana's going to go down a lot. See, it's gone. So I use Arcane Blast now. I should have used Arcane Missiles. Okay. Going. Make sure you keep another Tempest on the target. Okay, it's gone. Arcane Blast to reset it to make sure my mana's staying above 80%. Keep going. Refresh my Nether Tempest. Arcane Missiles. Or Arcane Barrage because I was going to fall below 80%. Okay. Now that's basically the gist of what you want to do for Arcane. And now I'm going to show you that again, but with me trying hard. Alright. Well, not trying hard, you know what I mean. Let's go. So about 160,000. That's of course that's on dummies and without raid buffs, so you gotta take that into consideration. But Arcane's really viable. The only thing that turns me off about it is if you mess your rotation up at all, you fall way below 80% mana, you kind of are screwed. I mean, you can use that's really when you want to use your mana gem, is if you mess your rotation up and fall below it. But like, it really is devastating to your DPS if you fall way below it. So that's one of the reasons I don't like Arcane. There is, like, you can always use that and then just slow your DPS down and use more Arcane Barrages to get your mana way back up if you do mess up. But that's pretty much everything you need to know for Arcane. Oh, in your cooldowns, you want to use Arcane Power and Mirror Images, and those are your only two cooldowns. Just use those at the beginning of the fight. Try and use them every time you can. And the best time to use Alter Time is when you have 4 stacks of Arcane Barrage, and you have 2 Arcane Missile procs. You hit Alter Time, Arcane Missiles, because Arcane Missiles don't use any mana, but they still hit just as hard as Arcane Blast with 4 stacks. And then once you're use Alter Time again, then Arcane Missiles, and then reset your stacks with the Arcane Barrage. That's pretty much it for Arcane. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next week on another episode of Icy Tuesday. You guys have a good one. Peace.